Hey, thank you for making the purchase from my Etsy shop, Excel Executive. There are other products on the shop as well. Do take a look at those and you will definitely find something that interests you. We will begin the walkthrough. So you click this button, Open Settings. You click it and it opens the last sheet called Settings. It has two parts. First is the categories table. The second is the payments method table. So here you are supposed to enter your categories. I have entered some categories so that you can get an idea what type of categories you can enter, but of course it is completely up to you. You can customize them. So this is how it works. The first column populates automatically. You don't have to worry about that. Then you have to supposed to write the name of the category. Then you type in the year for which that category is going to be applicable. The reason is that this sheet automatically calculates your total budget for a specific year and then gives you the actual expenses against each category as well. So you write the year. So here, as you can see, that for some categories I have written 2026 and for some other categories I have written 2025. So these categories will be shown in 2025 only, their budgets, and for these categories their budgets will be shown in 2026 only. So the suggestion is that every time you start an year, you write their category names and the specific year in which you're working, so that you get all the data pertaining to that accurately. The next part is the monthly budget. So here for this specific category you are supposed to type in the monthly budget. Here I typed 150. If I change to 120, you will see that the annual budget calculates automatically, so you don't have to worry about that. So you have to enter only these three things for every category. So in our example, I have entered these 7 categories. The first 4 are applicable to 2026. The last 3 are applicable to 2025. I have the monthly budgets and the annual budgets are calculated automatically. The next is the payment method. So again, I have entered some dummy data here. If these work for you, then that is fine, or you can change those. So once this is done, this is supposed to be done once. And of course, whenever you start a new year, you're supposed to enter a new category, or if you want to change a payment method, then you can change that payment method here. That is why this is the settings sheet. Now we will go to the first sheet, which is the expenses one. Now these just so that you keep this in mind, are the non-recurring expenses. So the expenses that don't happen on a regular basis, those are the ones that you are supposed to enter here manually. So first you are going to write the date on which that expense happened, then you are going to write the name of that expense, then you are supposed to select the category. Now this category, like we discussed before, is coming from the settings page. So you select the relevant category, then you write the actual expense amount, and then you select the payment method. Let's say you used debit card or you used cash for this, so on and so forth. So right now I have entered, let's say 8 expenses, and the assumption is that these happened. As soon as they happen, then I entered them here. This is the second part. These are the recurring expenses. As you can see that you cannot make any modifications to this sheet. This sheet is locked. This is the part of this product which is very impressive, that your recurring expenses will calculate automatically. You don't have to worry about it. So let's say this is the beginning of a month and you are expecting to pay something on a monthly basis, then that expense when that date comes will be added to this automatically, so you don't have to worry about it. Now how do you configure these recurring expenses? This is the next sheet. So here you are supposed to enter the recurring expense once and then forget about it. It will get populated automatically in the recurring expenses sheet. This is something that you don't have to do manually, and this is something which I think is going to help you a lot. So here, this is how it works. So the number column calculates automatically. This is here where you write the expense name. You select the category again from the drop down, then you write the amount, then you write the frequency. Now these are the options that you have, and hopefully this is going to cover everything. So you can have that expense every week, every fortnight, every month, bi-monthly. By this some people say that this means twice a month, but in our example this means every 2 months. So if you want to do it monthly, you can do it monthly. If you want to do once every 2 months, you can do this. Once every 3 months, you can do quarterly. Then you have half yearly, and then you have annually. So you have all the flexibility when it comes to frequency that you can use here, and you won't have any problems. So I will change it back to weekly, let's say. Once this is done, you have the amount per week or the amount per month. Then you enter the start date on which this expense starts, and the start date will be included. And then if you want to if you want this Excel sheet to stop at any specific date, then you can write the end date. Otherwise it will just continue recurring this adding this expense every week or every month as per your frequency that you set in this column. So in this example I have entered an end date, so for the cleaner expense, which amounts $6, let's say, per week. This will start on 5th Jan and it will end on 31st December 2026. You can use it, use it if you like, because in some cases what would happen is that, let's say you have office space rent. So let's say this happens to be the monthly rent for 2026, and in 2027 let's say it increases, so you can make the change here. One thing that you have to keep in mind is that you can only enter 15 recurring expenses in this. This Excel product can hold up to 15 recurring expenses. So that is, I think, more than enough, and that is something that can help you in maintaining. The next part is the active column. So here you have two options, yes and no. If you want to, let's say, remove a certain recurring expense, then you can select no here. But in most cases, if you want to remove it, you can just remove the row. That is going to be the easier thing, but sometimes some people want this option, so that is why I have created this here. This is the main part of this product. Here you have only one option, that you are supposed to select the year from the drop down. Everything else is locked on the sheet. So here you have a very nice heat map. Then you have the monthly change map. Then you have the spend by category. It contains the budget and the actual amounts. Then you have the monthly budget versus spend. This is the total, of course. And then of course you have the KPI cards. So total spend year to date, total budget year to date, out of which how much is remaining, and monthly average spend against the monthly budget that you have available. So let me go through this one by one. So first is the weekly spending heat map. So here one square equals 1 week. You have to keep that in mind. And the gray means that you spend less, and red means that you spend a lot in that week. So here you have all the months for 2026, and you can see here that, let's say in April, these 2 weeks are showing, let's say this is week 4 and week 5, that you have spent a lot of money. So here in one view you can get a very nice overview of your whole year, that in which week you spend normal and in which week you spend a lot of money, so that you can modify accordingly. The next, I will go to this graph. So this is a pretty simple graph. Here you have the months down. This light gray one is the budget, and this is the actual, and you get the data for each month. And of course, when you enter that data in the expenses one, or once you configure the recurring expenses, this is going to populate automatically. Everything will populate automatically here. You don't have to worry about it. This is the monthly change graph. So what happens is that, let's say you start, these are the actual bars, the brown ones. So let's say you start with 122, and here it says 122. Okay, then there is a decrease of $14 and you went to 108. Then there was an increase of $6 and you went to 114. Then there was an increase of $245 and you went to 359, and so on and so forth. So increase, because this is an expenses sheet, expenses tracker, and that is why increase is bad and a decrease is good. That is why this is marked as red or pink, and this is marked as blue or green. This is the last one. This is spend by category. So you have the budget, which is these very light gray lines, and the actual is the green ones. So this is how you're supposed to read it. You have the budget at the end of each bar, and then obviously the actual is the green one. So you can see for office and rent for the whole year you have a budget of $1,440, and if you want to see how much you have actually spent on it, then you can hover here and it will show you the exact amount, which is $200 in this case. Same goes for software and tools, same goes for dining and meals, and so on and so forth. One thing about the heat map is that if you want to see the exact amounts, the details, then you have a button here, you click it and it will show you for those 2 weeks you have spent $116, $138, which is a lot more as compared to $16 or $44 that you are spending. And if you want to go back, you click this button. So in one view you get an overview of the whole year, and if you want to change it, let's say I change it from 2026 to 2025, and everything is going to update automatically. And this is how this product works. Yeah, to create it, it took me a lot of time, but I have made it so that it is very easy for you to work on it. So again, just to go through this one more time, here you enter the non-recurring expenses. The recurring expenses populate automatically. You're supposed to configure those recurring expenses here, at any point in time you can enter up to 15 recurring expenses. Then you have the dashboard, then you have the settings. One thing, some people have a problem doing this, so I'm going to explain it. So this has dummy data in it, and if you want to start from the beginning, then what you can do is that you can leave the first row, select all of these, go to the home tab, go to delete table rows, and this will clear everything up. And once you start entering data, it will start populating automatically. This is how you're supposed to work with this. All of these are actual tables, so this is how you are going to add or remove the data in this. So once again, thank you for making the purchase, and if you have any more questions, let me know. Have a good day.